Zhiyun has just introduced a brand new gimbal to their lineup. It's the Cinepeer Weebill 3E. Less than 1 year ago, Zhiyun also introduced the Crane 4 gimbal, and they now have this Cinepeer Weebill 3E. So we're going to take a look at the features of this gimbal, who it's for, and even compare it a little bit to the Crane 4. There is a price difference between the Crane 4 and the Cinepeer Weebill 3E. The Weebill 3E comes in at $249. The Crane 4, for the combo kit, it's $635. There are going to be a few instances where, depending on the camera that you're using, depending on your application, you could go with either one. The payload of this gimbal is 6.6 pounds. The Crane 4 has a payload capacity of 10 pounds. Everything is packaged very simply. This gimbal is pretty much ready to go. All you have to install is the base plate and the tripod grip. What I'm not a fan of are these cases. Now, the cases themselves are good at protecting the gear, but it doesn't stay shut. It's not a carrying case that you would probably want to invest in if you're going to be taking this on the road. If that doesn't matter to you, it does not affect the performance of the gimbal. The modes that you're getting on this gimbal are universal. It functions the same as far as doing pan follow, pan tilt follow, vortex mode. It also has the options for you to go into the menu, designate the joystick, adjust the front wheel for shutter speed, the tilt axis. You can customize the menu. You have 3 lock positions. So this is for the roll, for the tilt. So here's for the pan. What I like about these switches are they made them very easy to see with the gray against the black. I believe on the Crane 4, it's black again. It's just it's an extra little thing. It shouldn't be a make or break. It's very lightweight. It's 2.3 pounds. It actually feels, the grip is very nice. Another interesting feature that the Weebill 3E has is the ability to remount for shooting in portrait mode. So this is the plate that has this little piece on the side right here. You have 2 options. You can either take this plate and slide it across here like this, or if I turn it this way, what I can do is attach the camera this way, and now you're shooting in portrait mode. Another major upgrade that I absolutely love is the way that the plate is now more secure. So this is where the mounting plate now slides underneath and locks right into place here. Even with it not locked, it's not going to fall off. The reason I'm pointing this out is, if you watch the review I did on the Crane 4 versus the RS3 Pro, there was a major issue with the Crane 4 where the plate sits on top. It can easily come off. This is a much needed improvement. Thank you, Zhiyun, for doing this. Another one of the features is the Bluetooth shutter control. You can start and stop recordings. You can snap photos. In some cases, it will actually control the zoom on the camera, which is a plus. And just like all Zhiyun products, it is accessible in the ZY Play app, which is a free app for both iOS and Android. If you don't already have the app, you download it. With your device turned on, you search for your device, it connects via Bluetooth and gives you full remote control options of rotating the gimbal's 3 access points, starting and stopping with record, giving you a little bit more fine control over it. Now, what's handy about this is you can set the gimbal down and record using the remote app, or if you have a second operator, somebody who wants to actually start and stop the recording and control functions on the gimbal, that is also accessible through the ZY Play app. There is something to consider with this gimbal, and that is if you're left-handed. So right now, the joystick is on the left-hand side. If I'm holding this with my right hand, I can easily control the joystick. If I'm holding this with my left hand, see, the joystick's over here. So what I have to do is, it's a big stretch, and I'm actually releasing part of my grip. Are there workarounds to this? Sure. If you don't need to use the joystick, that's fine. All the other functions which are on the front of the unit, you can access. If you hold the tripod grip with your left hand and you're able to do the joystick with your right, then that's a plus. The wrist rest and this extra grip, do not come with the unit. This was a separate purchase. This they are advertising as the Master Move kit. When you buy the Crane 4 combo, it comes with it. If you buy the Crane 4 unit itself, it doesn't. But it's absolutely a worthwhile investment. Very easily adjustable. So while you have this in your hand, it's alleviating pressure on your wrist. So if you're going down into suitcase mode, if you're going down into flashlight mode, it just, and even just carrying it, it definitely alleviates some pressure on your arms. The other accessory that you get is this adjustable arm. And what I like about this is a better grip to have on a gimbal than to be sort of parallel like this. Back to the left-handed issue. There's a problem with this setup. It will rotate back, but it won't rotate any more forward, which is fine when you're using your right hand grip. If I were to take that to this side, it goes forward. It doesn't come back anymore, so that becomes a problem. It's helpful to have because sometimes you just need to move it just a little bit to get it away from the roll, or if you want to move it back, if you're going to do the vortex shot. So that is something to consider. If you're left-handed, it would be nice if they would just make this swing, make it a 180. That way you have the option to move it to another side. But one of the other cool things about this is if you do decide to come all the way back with it, you can extend this grip up a little bit and do some really cool crane work with it. There is a 0.96-inch screen that's fairly easy to read. The menu system works very well. There's a scroll wheel, there's a menu button. It just makes it easier to get to these functions. And last but not least, one of the features they're advertising is 16 hours of runtime, which is amazing. The other function that they advertise with this is you are able to use the gimbal while you're charging it. Another thing that Weebill listened to was they got rid of the light and microphone that used to get in the way here. So that was something that would sort of prevent you from going down, from tilting down. So who is this not for? And what are some of the drawbacks of this particular gimbal? The first thing is going to be that 6.6 pound payload. If you own Blackmagic cameras, you're not going to be using this because those cameras are not compatible with it. You're not getting the option to add a focus motor. And for a lot of people, that's going to be a problem. There's also no option to add a monitor to this, so you're working off of your camera's monitor. Keep in mind, this is an entry level. If your camera has autofocus, if it's a small enough body, if you have the autofocus, you don't need that focus wheel. Don't be discouraged by this not having the focus motor, unless your camera needs that focus. But even still, there are ways that you can make that work. What I've done in the past on the old handheld, the fly cams, is you make sure that you're able to shoot at 5.6. You try to keep the same distance between yourself and your subject. Don't get frustrated if this is your first gimbal and you're having a hard time balancing things. It takes a little while. It's not something that out of the box you're just going to get this buttery smooth footage. You have to go out there and work with it, just like with a camera. For $250 to have a gimbal, to have a sturdy gimbal from a company that people know and trust is key. If you are interested in this or the other gimbals that I mentioned, I will list them in the description. Yes, I do get a percentage. If you do buy that, I thank you for that. And if not, give it a try, see what you think. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. If you are using the Crane 4, the RS3 Pro, if you're thinking of getting the Cinepeer Weebill 3E, and if you do get one, please leave us a comment. I'd love to know what you think about this. So go out there and shoot, make some great footage. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care. Peace.